Hi, in Module 2 we will discuss waveguide components and application. In Module 1 we have discussed the various transmission lines used for the communication purpose here. The purpose of this module is to discuss the structure, characteristics and application of various special components. There is a need for the development and application of various many special components as the physical characteristics of waveguide differ from those of the other types of electric circuits. In today's session, we will discuss how an waveguide is coupled to a coaxial cable. This can be done in two ways. The first method is coupling probe and the second one is coupling loop. A coaxial line may be coupled to a waveguide by means of a probe or by means of an loop here. By using the probe here, there is coupling electrically, and by making use of loop, the coupling is magnetically. Let us move to the first one, that is a coupling probe. A coupling probe usually consists of an extension of the center conductor of the coaxial line at the midpoint of one of the wide walls of the guide. See, in this picture, we are having a waveguide and we are having a coaxial line. When you are taking this waveguide, it is having the dimension A and B here. As it is said here, it can be placed, a coaxial probe will be placed in parallel to the electric field at or near a point where the electric field has its maximum value. In this waveguide, the direction of field will be in the upward direction, is in the upward direction here. Now, if you want to couple a coaxial cable for this type of a waveguide here, the probe should be in parallel to this electric field here. This is the inner conductor of the coaxial cable. If you are extending this inner conductor of the coaxial cable, then it is called as the coupling probe. And in this case, the coupling probe is parallel to the electric field lines here. This is how the coupling probe arrangement is done here. Moving to the next figure here, we can do it in the another way also here. In the first case, we don't have a proper support for the inner conductor of the probe here. So we are moving for the second arrangement here. In the figure B here, this part is a waveguide and this part is a coaxial line, and this is the inner conductor. This hashed line is the inner conductor here. This inner conductor is extended across the waveguide and terminated on the far wall. On the far wall of the waveguide, it is terminated here. This gives a rigid support in the coupling mechanism here. The another way is also there here. For the impedance matching purpose, the center conductor may pass through the further wall and terminate in a coaxial line stub as shown in the figure C. When the center conductor extends across the waveguide or projects an appreciable distance into the guide, the magnetic coupling as well as the electric coupling will be more effective here. These are the different three arrangements how the coupling probe will be used to couple an coaxial cable and a waveguide here. The first one is a very simple one here. We never bother that whether the inner conductor is much flexible or not here. When you are taking the figure B, the inner conductor is extended till it is going to touch the farthest wall of the waveguide. This gives a rigid support for the inner conductor. If you want the effective coupling of electrical and the magnetical way here, then we will be further crossing the inner conductor across the further wall, and it will be stopped at the short circuiting plungers here in this way. See here, in this has been crossed beyond the waveguide another distance here. The next way of coupling a waveguide with an coaxial cable is a coupling loop here. In many microwave systems, sometimes it is more convenient to couple a coaxial line to a waveguide or any cavity resonator by means of a coupling loop than by a probe here. As shown in the figure here, I'll be using a coupling loop in a junction between the coaxial line and the waveguide. This is the junction where a coaxial cable and waveguide are meeting here. See the inner conductor. See here, the inner conductor is extended, but it is forming a sort of a loop here. Since the loop coupling is principally magnetic, the loop must be placed at or near a point of a high magnetic field strength, and it is turned in such a position that its plane is normal to the flux lines. It may be mounted in the end wall of a short-circuited waveguide as it is shown in the figure, or else further it can also be placed in the middle of the top or the bottom wall at an integral number of half wavelengths from a short-circuited end. Here we need to remember that the plane of the loop should be perpendicular to the magnetic field for the maximum coupling here. Now when I am taking the degree of the coupling, it can be increased based upon the size and the shape of the loop here. As the area of the loop will be increasing, the amount of the coupling will be increased further. The only one thing you need to remember here is the loop is perpendicular to magnetic field, and it should be placed at a point where the magnetic field intensity is very high. Here I conclude that whenever we want to couple a coaxial cable with a waveguide, we will be going for the two ways. The first one is a probe way, and in the second one I'll be making use of the loop. I can make use of a probe or a loop for the coupling. Here the probe is nothing but the extension of the inner conductor of your coaxial cable, and this probe axis should be parallel to electric field, and in the loop should be parallel to the magnetic field. And where it should be placed? It should be placed at a point where the electric field intensity is maximum, and the loop should be placed at a point where the magnetic field intensity is maximum here. These are the two ways to couple a coaxial cable with an waveguide.